ingredients list. It's pretty comprehensive, but everything here is real cheap. I think the total outlay for this meal is going to be £3 maximum, if not £4. Absolute maximum £4. So that's going to be what, maybe $6 for a full day of food. Let's go through it. So the first is quinoa. This is organic quinoa. It's like the type that I like to choose. If you know anything about anything, then you know this stuff is good for you. It's got a really strong amino acid profile. It's high in protein, relatively high in protein compared to every other grain that you can find. And it's also got just enough carb to keep you going for the day. So what I've got here is 160 grams of quinoa. Now this is catered to me, so you can have as much as you want or as little as you want. You can even substitute this for other stuff, which I'll get onto later. So first ingredient, 160 grams of quinoa. Second ingredient, lean turkey mince. Now, if you're in America, you might call this ground mince, ground turkey, sorry. Real cheap. In England, it's £2. 2 peppers. Peppers are peppers. Nothing to say there. You're going to need half a red onion. You can use a regular onion, but you only need half. For the amount of food that we're going to make here, half is plenty. Again, some broccoli. Great for iron, added fibre, fantastic, tastes good, love it. And then, the key ingredients are your choices of seasoning. Now, I use this one, everyday seasoning, Caribbean style. It's got a lot of flavours that I like in there. Mixes like these do have salt in them, so you have to be aware of the amount of these that you're using. Or if you have a sodium intolerance, or you're watching the sodium in your diet, then look at buying the no salt, no added salt versions and mixing your own spices. So here I've got a chicken mix with no added salt, and here I've got a Dunn's River everyday seasoning that has added salt, but at the moment I'm not really watching my sodium intake too tightly, so that's fine. So let's go. I'm going to chop through these vegetables and I'll show you what they look like afterwards before we get started. Okay, now we've got our quinoa. That's all fine, ready to go. Washed it. You have to make sure you wash it because it's got a little residue on the grain that when you wash it with water, it just removes that residue. So give it a couple of seconds in a sieve, blast it with water, good to go. Here we've got half a red onion, a whole red pepper, and a whole green pepper. Adds a bit of colour, adds a lot of flavour. Okay, now I prefer to not use oil because I don't like oil. I don't like to use oil. It makes my food taste kind of greasy. So I tend to use a little knob of butter. So if we turn the scales on, I'm looking for around 10 grams of this. So that is 5. Eight. 10. Okay, so if you don't have scales, that's about 10 grams of butter. That's all you need. So out comes the frying pan. In goes the butter. And away we go. Okay, so now we're going to heat this butter until it's melted, and then we're going to saute the vegetable. So it's really quick, really easy. It's kind of fun actually, especially when you get a little bit of practice tossing it. There we go. In goes the veg. Boom. Now, if you want to add garlic, at this point you can add some garlic, make it taste really nice. I'm a fan of garlic, I just don't have any. Okay, so you can hear that sizzling away a little bit. Just give it a move. Okay, so while the quinoa, to cook the quinoa, you want it on 2 parts water to 1 part quinoa. So I'm going to set that boiling now in the back corner actually, I'll do it over here. Set that boiling. And then I'll cut my broccoli up. There you are, just the tree left. If you're hardcore, you can eat the tree. It's nothing but fibre, really. Okay, those vegetables are nicely sautéed now. So I'm going to add all of the turkey to the mix, to the pan, sorry. There it goes. Take a little tray off. Okay, so the turkey's in now. Just going to let that sit. And now is the time when you add the seasoning. So you add the seasoning now, and you let it sit and let the turkey take in the flavour and the seasoning. I'm quite liberal with this. So I'll put on as much as I want. And you can do as much as you want. You don't have to use the same kind of seasoning. You can use any kind of seasoning really. Any seasoning that you really like, you can use. Okay, here we go. And that's it. Okay, the water's boiling now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the quinoa that I've washed. I'm going to put it in the boiling water and reduce it to a simmer. In a couple of minutes, when it's about halfway through, I'll add the broccoli on top of it, and that'll let the broccoli cook to perfection. Won't let it be too soft. Okay, so that's now at a simmer. Remember, 2 parts quinoa to 1 part, or 2 parts water to 1 part quinoa. Now I'm going to look to stir the turkey and the vegetables. And as you can see, that's starting to look nice and colourful. Looking really nice. So just cook that through. Cook that through now until the turkey's ready. If you want to reduce the fat content of this meal as well, you can now get a sieve and drain off the fat. Like the turkey, as it starts to cook, it's going to sweat a little bit and release some of that fat. You can actually drain it off and reduce the overall fat of the meal. So that's an option for you. You know, if you want to leave it, it adds a lot of flavour to the meal, and it's probably not that much anyway. I'll let you know how much it is after. Okay, the quinoa looks ready now, so we can turn that off. I think the broccoli might need a little bit more time, but deal with that in a bit. Okay, so the quinoa's ready, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, like, it starts to open up a little bit. It looks almost like, I want to say caviar, like fish eggs kind of. Anyway, you can do one of two things. You can either separate this and you set it inside on your plate or in your Tupperware, whatever container you put it in. But I like to throw this on top of the mince here and kind of mix it all up, so it's just like a quick and easy, put it in your mouth and chew kind of thing. So on that goes. There you are. As you can see, that's what that looks like. Start turning it. If you want to try it and maybe add a little seasoning. Now what this does, the heat, I've turned the heat back on because the heat's going to now remove the excess water from the quinoa, so it's going to be a nice, not dry, but it's not going to be kind of waterlogged or soaked through, like saturated with water. So it should be quite nice. You can see it looks quite good. Just a bit of a taste. Yup, that's really nice. Got a bit of kick. The spices I use can be a bit strong sometimes. Woo! Got a little bit of a kick, but that's how I like it. So throw that metabolism in the air, keep it up there. Love it. Okay, so we've got 3 Tupperwares here. 1, 2, 3. 3 lunches. Now I'll eat at around 10:30, then I'll eat again at around 1 to 1:30, and I'll eat again at around 4 before I go and work out around 6 in the evening. So, okay, so check it out. I've got 3 meals, 3 good sized meals here, and in the pan, I've even got some to spare. So what am I going to do? I'm going to break out a 4th Tupperware. Why not? Break out a 4th Tupperware, and I've got a little meal post-workout. Done. So when I've had my protein shake immediately after my workout, 20 or 30 minutes later, I can chow this down, come home, prepare my meals for the next day, have a second no carb meal before I go to bed, and we're good. So of that 500 grams of mince, of turkey, ground turkey, we've got 3 meals with 160 grams of quinoa. Check the description box for the breakdown. I'll put down the fats, the protein, the carbohydrates for your attention, whatever, enjoy it. Anyway, try it yourself, use as many different spices as you like. All I've got to do now is add the broccoli to make the meal complete, and that's it. Thanks for watching.